What is malaria? Malaria is a disease that is caused by parasites. Specifically, it's intermittent and remittent fever that is caused by a protozoan parasite that affects the red blood cell. These parasites are transmitted to humans from infected female mosquitoes. Malaria is one of the world's deadliest disease. The picture to the bottom right is a plasmodium from the saliva of a female mosquito moving across a mosquito cell. Who is mostly affected by malaria? Children are one of the most vulnerable people to the disease. Malaria usually targets children under 5 in developing countries. Malaria is more commonly seen in children compared to adults because the disease is likely to be acquired during childhood. Pregnant women are also mostly affected. They are susceptible to the disease. Elderly people are also affected because their bodies aren't strong enough to fight the disease, making them at risk of death. Those who live in developing countries tend to be the biggest targets of malaria because they lack the materials needed to prevent them from catching the disease. In the map, you can see countries such as Mexico, most of Brazil and Africa, India and Yemen are red and stand out from the other countries. Which means that these are the countries that are affected by malaria the most. The country where malaria is strongly known in South Africa. These countries in red are developing and lack healthcare. The other reason why these countries are mostly targeted is because they have warmer climates as opposed to cooler climates like Russia or Canada. How does malaria affect the human body? When the plasmodium enters the body, it starts to attack the blood cells. The virus will multiply throughout the body. It starts to do this up to 48 to 72 hours. The person will start to feel the effect in 10 days. In the picture to the right, you can see that it starts with a mosquito carrying the parasite. The mosquito then bites a human injecting that parasite in their body. The human body is able to fight most of the infection. However, the human body doesn't manage to fight off all the parasite. Some of the parasite stays behind and will continue to grow in the body. After the parasite enters the body, symptoms may include high fever, shaking and body chills, headache, fatigue, sweating, vomiting, muscle pain, bloody stools and a coma after seen with the virus. Some of these symptoms come and go. The virus in some cases can lead to problems in the kidney and lungs. Breathing may be an issue. Usually death will depend on the type of malaria that the individual catches. Whether someone dies from malaria or not depends on the treatments that they receive. Children are also at risk of dying from the virus because their body is still developing. 1 million people a year die after being infected with the virus. The statistic for 1 million deaths per year is the estimated number. Because of malaria, Africa loses $12 million a year. This is because Africa loses tourism. Not much tourists visit the country once knowing that they may be at risk of catching the virus. Is there a cure for this virus? Malaria can be cured with prescribed drugs. However, the treatments will usually depend on the type of malaria. It will also depend on the type of the person who is infected. Bed nets are a way to prevent younger children from catching the virus. Bed nets have been distributed in many parts of Africa for those who are in need. These nets are used to block mosquitoes from biting those who are at bed sleeping. With the right drugs, malaria is curable unlike HIV or AIDS. However, those who are affected by the virus need to be treated fast as the virus will continue to grow in their body. Global warming is helping the spread of malaria. Mosquitoes prefer to live in warmer climates. The warmer the climate, the more mosquitoes an area will receive. According to the public health article on mosquitoes, which is titled Thanks to Climate Change. Infection rates of diseases like malaria, dengue fever and West Nile virus are likely to rise as a warming climate creates more mosquito-friendly habitats. Scientists have found that when temperature increases, malaria affects those living in higher altitudes. This topic about global warming and climate change has been hard to prove and had become a very controversial topic. However, researchers have analyzed that outbreaks and matched them at various altitudes with temperature records, and this shows that how the virus rises then falls on warmer and cooler years. How can we slow down global warming or climate change? We can start by educating others. It's surprising to know that not much people are well educated on the effects that human activities has had on the globe. We can influence environmental regulations. To help pass safe environment laws would be a start in slowing down climate change. As the whole globe, it's possible for all of us to come together and address the issue. In addressing the issue globally, we can help set up more environmental regulations. The last step that can be done by anyone with only a few effort is to really just watch our actions. Make sure that bad habits such as leaving the light on for too long are changed. Why slowing down global warming is helpful? It is helpful because it can slow down the number of mosquitoes that are bred. When an area is cooler, it results in less mosquitoes. The less mosquitoes that are produced, the less the virus could be spread. The other thing is that increasing malaria will slow down a population. In African, the lifespan is 34 years off compared to the average lifespan.